Hello, good morning, good afternoon to all of you. Thanks for joining us today in this webinar called The Ultimate Tool to Calculate Energy Savings Potential. Thank you very much. I'm here. This is Joan Piñol, CEO and co-founder of Dexma, and here with me today we have Daniel Uches, Product Director.
Hi, Joan. How are you? Hi,
Good, fine. And Maria Fernandez, Marketing Manager.
Hi, guys.
Good. So we're really very excited today because this is a major event in our company. We're unveiling this new tool within our mission, that is to provide data-driven analytics using software tools, of course, at the end to increase the energy efficiency in buildings, retail, industry, as we're doing today with our existing product. So that was all. Daniel Uches is going to perform this presentation this afternoon, and I hope you guys enjoy it as far as we do it.
Okay, Joan, so thank you for this introduction. Yeah, in fact, so today it's a great day for our company because we're unveiling that new tool, that new product, okay? And that new product, it's intended to help better to our end customers to reduce their energy consumption, as it is in our company's mission, right? But before we start with the product itself and we start showing a bit of what's capable to do, let's start with the very basics, right? And when a customer wants to reduce their own cost, you can start thinking in two components of the cost, right? So one is the price, and the other one is the consumption that you're consuming. So basically, with the price that you've contracted and the amount of kilowatt hours that you've been consuming your electricity bill, for instance, then you get the cost. Apart from taxes, that's other stuff, right? So if you try to reduce the cost, what you can do is to contract better your prices, and that's cool because you can go then to your supplier and try to get better prices from that people and let the consumption for the next step, right? And in that way, you're reducing the cost. Then what you can do is to reduce the cost again, you can keep the prices at the same level and focus into the consumption. But if what you really want is to reduce your cost in a good level, what you need to do then is to reduce both prices and consumption. And there is no tool that helps you to reduce both things at the same time. So that's why we create that new tool that we're explaining here today. Okay? But that's the big question, right? But how much can I save? How much cost can I save? And that's the question that all my customers during the last 5 years that I hear at Dexma, and you too, Joan, all of them ask me every time that they're trying to start a new energy efficiency project. So Daniel, how much can I save? And my answer was, well, I don't really know that because we don't have that knowledge or that capabilities to detect how much energy efficiency potential do they have, right? So at the end of the day, that was like the holy grail question. Nobody wants to know, or nobody had enough information to answer that until now, until we are unveiling today the new product, okay? But it's all the customers want to know how much they can save. And which are those customers? Well, so basically we have two different customers. So one is our partner that they try to help other facilities or other customers to reduce their energy consumption. And as soon as they get a new customer, so a new customer knocks their door, they have to decide if that's a good customer for their company or not. So they need to perform basic analysis in order to get a kind of energy savings potential. But that means that they need to invest time on that, right? So the project, it's not scalable. So that kind of customers needs to know how much they can save, or their end customers can save energy, okay? We have that example here. It's Vincent Blanc. He's close to 40 years old. He's an energy consultant, as I was saying. He's helping the customers to reduce cost, and every new customer can be a surprise. So you can get customers, Joan, that they have a lot of potential, so they are doing a lot of money on that, but maybe you are taking on board a customer that they don't have that much potential. So it's not worth it, right? So they have to decide, and to decide they normally perform basic analysis things, but it takes time, so they cannot scale their business, okay? And then we have the end customer. So that kind of company that they have to reduce their energy cost, or they want to reduce. So the board of advisors goes to the facility manager or the energy manager of the company and mandate them to reduce an amount of 10%, 20%, 25%. But the guy who receives that order, he doesn't really knows how to do that, or he doesn't really knows how much energy savings potential does the company have. So that's why we're creating that kind of tool, okay? So we have here the case of Stefano De Rossi. He's close to 40 years old. He's a facility manager. His annual electricity bill is more than 50,000 euros per year. The board ordered him to reduce the electricity bill, so he has that mandate from the board. Even more important for him, he has to achieve the energy cost reductions in 2016 in order to get the bonus. Okay, so he wants that, but he's as well very busy, as we are all, as we all are. And anyway, he doesn't take care about energy efficiency. So as a facility manager, he has a lot of duties to do, like better purchasing the cleanings of the office or whatever. So he doesn't take care about the energy efficiency. So in his mind, he's saying, what the fuck? So how I do that, right? But I need this bonus because I have the family, I want to go in holidays that summer, I want to change my car, so I need that bonus, right? So how can I reduce my consumption? Where should I start from? How much can I save? And all of that questions in the mind of Stefano De Rossi ends up being like in darkness, okay? So he doesn't really know where to start or which tool to use to start getting kind of information of that. And at the end of the darkness is something called hope, right? So he has hope that he will get the bonus by saving energy, but he doesn't know how to do that, okay? That's the point. So how do we solve that? So we are welcoming the Energy Grader product at Dexma, okay? So we try to say that you can escape from the darkness using that new product, which is called Energy Grader. At the end of the day, the Energy Grader, it's a report that gives you a grader between 1 and 100, as we will see afterwards, and gives you an idea of how much potential you can achieve doing energy efficiency retrofittings or projects. And it has the innovation that you can compare any single facility worldwide, so it doesn't care about the country, right? Because we are doing very, very nice clustering. We are using very nice clustering technology there, so you can use or you can grade any single building that you have worldwide. And then we are also analyzing your prices. So it's not just the consumption, but it's both prices and consumption. So with the Energy Grader, the customer that uses that will get insights regarding how much efficient he can be in terms of consumption and how much better they can purchase their own prices. And this is something unique that doesn't exist into the current market. Okay? So that's the grader, Energy Grader. Detect the energy savings potential of your building, and in addition, it's free. So we have created that product, and we are launching today that product, and it's free for one of the buildings, okay? So all of you guys that you are hearing this webinar, you can now go to our website and perform the grader for one of your buildings, and that will be for free, okay? And now we will check it out. What's the Energy Grader, okay? The Energy Grader, basically it's a tool to easily quantify your savings potential, giving you a mark between 1 to 100, okay? So a mark of 1 indicates that your building has a lot of potential to save energy. A building of 100 indicates that it's the top performing building in our database, okay? How are we doing that? Well, basically we have tens of thousands of buildings real-time monitored in our database worldwide, right? So we will be comparing your consumption, the consumption that the customer will send us using bills, okay? And their prices anonymously versus other similar buildings that Dexma has in its database. And none other software company worldwide has the same amount of buildings that we have. So this is something that we are sharing to the community, right? So we want to start helping people and making more easily to compare your building versus similar buildings in our platform, okay? And it's worldwide. So basically, the user completes a 2 minutes online form, as I will show you now. He needs to upload some invoices, and the innovation is that you can upload the invoice in whatever format you have. Can be an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you have, whatever format of Excel spreadsheet you have, or even if you have the invoices in PDF or just images, you can upload those files to our platform, and the energy grader will process them. Okay, so there's a lot of innovation here trying to automate the process and to get that information as better as possible without having the friction of having to introduce manually all that information in our form, okay? And in 48, 72 hours, so in less than 3 days, the user will receive the energy grader report, okay? So in less than 3 days, far more better than any audit that you can perform, you will be having real insights about how are you performing and how much you can save, answering that holy grail question that we can solve 2 years or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Right, John?
Yeah.
Good. And then the other one that it's for free, right? So we're doing that for free. So try it now. So you can go directly to www.energygrader.net, and there you have the form. And now, if you don't mind, Joan, I would like to share with my audience how does it works. So yeah, how is working the form.
That would be magnific. Yeah.
So let's go for it. And here we have, I've opened before, right? So in our web page as well, so if you go directly through www.dexmatech.com, you will see that we have that new banner here, the energy grader. And the energy grader, that banner goes to the landing page where we explain exactly what kind of calculations do we do. We have some quotes from real people that they are using the grader so far. And if you click on Grade Me Now, then that innovative form opens in your web browser, right? So you just need to, well, that's the energy grader, detect the energy savings potential of your building for free, and you just click into the Grade Me. Before you start, what is really useful is to have clear which facility you will introduce into the grader form, okay? So which one from the whole portfolio that you have. Know where is it located, so which country and which city it is, so we can normalize all the information that we have. How much is it big, so which is their area, and have handy electricity bills so you can easily upload to the form. Okay, so that's all the 3 things that you need to have in mind before you start. Once we have decided, you can click on I'm ready, and we just go. So the first question is, your building activity is, and then you just need to go here, and I will perform an example on a hospital. Okay, so I will select hospital. My building surface is about 20,000 square meters. Okay, so I put there 20,000 square meters. Is it located in the United Kingdom? Right? And then it's in London. Good. So far, it's just 3 or 4 different questions, very, very easy to answer. Now, the grader says, sorry, I've been a bit rude. What's your building's name? Well, my name of that hospital is St. Paul's Hospital. Good. Cool name. Thank you. When was St. Paul's Hospital built, refurbished? Okay, so we are trying to get an idea of how old that building is. In fact, that St. Paul's Hospital was fully refurbished after 2010, so I will click on 2010. And what kind of facade does it mostly have? Well, it has mostly glass facade, so it's that kind of new buildings, you know. It was mostly glass facade. And then, to perform the energy grader for St. Paul's Hospital, I need some monthly consumptions and cost. how many invoices would you like to send me? Of course, that as much invoices as you send me or send to the grader, better accuracy we will get from the algorithms that we use to normalize, right? So if you just send me one invoice, Joan, then we can ensure 60% accuracy in our results. In that case, I will go for the 24 invoices, okay, to get the maximum accuracy possible. Maximum accuracy is possible. Good. And now, how would you like to send me that invoices information? Well, we are giving to the customers many different ways to introduce the bills, right? So basically, the most common way is to use the PDFs, right? So if you have already in your hard disk your PDFs or cloud or whatever, you can just download that and then upload them into the grader form. If you have an Excel spreadsheet because you are using, so is and anybody in your organization, it's passing the bills from PDFs to the Excel spreadsheet, you can use that Excel spreadsheet and upload in whatever format you have, or you can tell to the grader that he can connect to your utility site, right? So providing here your credentials, then we will ask privately for the password, right? But we can connect directly with your utility site. Or in case that you don't have any idea of how we can help you, just click that option, Joan, and then we will contact you. Okay. So I have here, for that example, I have the 24 invoices in PDF. As I was telling you, that's the more common way to do that. So I will click on PDF, and great, I love to deal with invoices. Just make a zip rar file with the bills, and I will process them. That's cool. So I go to my hard disk, and then, so here I have my invoices, okay? I have here all my PDFs invoices. All of them have, or some of them have different formats, but I don't care about the format. So I will just send this to the energy grader and he will manage that. I will create them the PDF, the RAR file, sorry. So bills for grader. Nice. Where is that? Didn't work. No, here it is, right? So I have here the grade for grader, and then if I move forward to the form, I just need to drag and drop that, and it starts to upload. So it's really, really easy to send all the invoices that you have through our form, right? Once it's done, perfect, you click on OK, and then the energy grader asks you about any other particularities that you have in your installation. Like for instance, in my hospital, I have an installation of photovoltaic self-consumption installation. So this is something that I will notify to the grader people, so they can better adjust my results, okay? Otherwise, I will be receiving a report that the results are not really well adjusted. So it can be confusing for me. So I have photovoltaic installation, and then he asked me about what kind of role I'm playing in that project. So imagine that I'm the business owner, and I have many different hospitals. So I have 25 other hospitals in the UK, and the aggregated energy bill is about $50 million, euros, sorry, 50 million euros. And okay, your energy grader is being calculated, tell me your email, and I will send you as soon as it's ready. As we are doing that in my name, I will use my own email. And as soon as it is ready, I will receive here my energy grader. Now I have to accept the energy grader conditions of privacy, whatever. So I click on accept and I click on send. And that's all that I have to do. So now it's kind of waiting. It's really easy, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we've been investing so much time into try to find the minimum valuable and questions that gave us enough information to perform valuable insights for our customers. Okay, so in 48 to 72 hours now, I would receive in my email something like that. Okay, So that's an example of the energy grader report that basically what it's really important, it's the header, right, that says that I'm marking 66 out of 100. So I'm above the average, yeah. And my potential savings, that it's something that really worries me because I wanted to start saving energy, it's around 20%. And that means that I could be saving close to 100,000 euros per year, which is cool. So in less than 3 days, I have all of this information in my hand, and now I escape from the darkness, and I can start thinking in how can I achieve this. Even more, we are giving the efficiency grader, right? So it's your consumption comparison against your sector for hospitals. So as you provide me 24 different bills, I'm plotting here your last 12 months, comparing your particular consumption versus the sector best average, okay? So that means that in blue, I can check it out how my sector is performing. And then in bars, in green or in red, I can see how I am performing, right? And this is every month you can perform the same analysis in order to understand if you're better than the others or not, okay? And in terms of energy efficiency, so the efficiency grader is giving me 78 points out of 100. So I'm performing really, really good, okay? On the other hand, we have the price grader, right? So as I told you before at the beginning of the webinar, to reduce your costs, you can better purchase your energy prices or reduce your consumption. So in terms of better purchase your energy prices, how I am versus the other similar buildings, right? So I am marking 35 out of 100. So I could be performing better in that side. Okay, so here we specify which prices do you have and which prices do we have anonymously taking from our sector and buildings similar than you. Okay, so from those two figures, what I would suggest you is that, okay, so let's start to purchase better your prices. And then once that it's close to 80, 85, then we can go back and start reducing your energy consumption in order to get your 100,000 euros per year. Okay,
that's great.
So that's great. No, that's greater. Good. So if then we move forward to the presentation, at any point, please, guys that you are there, just ask anything that you have in mind in our chat, okay? And afterwards, we will answer all of these questions. So in summary, why is the energy grader useful? Basically, because it allows you to quickly get insights regarding your energy savings potential, right? So answering that holy grail question. So the grader answers this. Then you can benchmark your electricity consumption versus other similar buildings in order to understand how great you are performing versus your sector, for instance. Even more, to benchmark your electricity prices versus peers in your sector. And this is something unique that you cannot do with any other tool in market. Then that's really important. So it allows you to decide if you have to first start negotiating prices or reducing the energy consumption, right? So decide where do you have to invest your time. And then you can evaluate your energy efficiency evolution in time, right? So you can perform the energy grader every 3 months, every 6 months in order to get your evolution. Okay, so how the energy grader compares your facility versus the others? That's the typical question of everybody, right? Well, basically, we have in our database tens of thousands of real-time monitored facilities, okay? With fiscal metering, sub-metering, so we have billions and billions of information that we have used anonymously to create that new tool, okay? So Dexma is the only software vendor that has that kind of capacity in the market. So that's why we can do it. Then we also segment by your activity, your surface, your weather conditions, your facade, and any other metadata that we have. Okay. So it's not just comparing kilowatt hour by square meter. That's so easy to perform. We have invested in a new technology that really it's a clustering machine, right? That you can perform thousands of clusters per second, and then we can get all of that insight. Then we also have the capability to add adjustments in case that the facility has some singularities. As I was explaining into the demonstration, we had photovoltaic installation. So our team of engineers can modify or adjust the baseline in order to better get the final results. So this is something that really gives you more value than any other tool that you can find into the market that simply compares your kilowatt hour per square meter, because all the facilities are different, and we know that, and we take that serious. So that's why we allow people to add some adjustments, and we can adjust the baseline to get better results. Then we also take into account the consumption pattern. So for instance, not all the hospitals are consuming at the same pattern, not all the hotels, right? So you have holiday hotels that they are just consuming in summer, or hotels that are inside the cities that they consume during the whole year, right? So we don't do clustering by just activity, but also adding which is the consumption pattern. So that really accurates better their results. And then in case that we don't have enough population, because as well our database it's very, very big, but it's limited, then we go to other public resources. So the partner or the end customer doesn't have to do that, but we go to Energy Star, we go to Eurostat, we go to some other public databases to take that information. So in one single point, the customer can get the same information instead of surfing the net during months in order to get something. So we do that job for them. So that was all. Try it now, Joan.
Sure, I'll introduce my building this afternoon.
This afternoon.
Sure.
You can go directly to www.energygrader.net, okay? And in 48 to 72 hours, you will receive the report in your email in order to decide which is the best path to achieve the energy savings.
Thank you very much, Daniel. We are very, very excited with the energy grader. And now, as you said before, we would like to answer all the questions that the audience may have. So we're gonna just pause 30 seconds or 40 seconds, and we're gonna come back. See you now.
Okay, so guys, we have the first questions arriving. Let's go for it. First one is, yeah, we said that this is only for one building. So what happens if I need to compare two buildings? So.
Well, good question. I'm gonna take that one. So, of course, today we're unveiling the first version of the product that, as Daniel said, it's for one building and it's for free. In our roadmap, we're gonna offer as well the possibility for multi-portfolio customers with more than a building or more than a location to introduce them and to get the scorings. This is going to be launched in the next coming weeks, so you keep in touch with us and you will see our roadmap.
Cool. people is guessing or wondering a little bit more about how do we do the calculation, the algorithms, Daniel. So can you tell you anything else about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, here, if we take that example of the report, the typical question is, okay, but how do you calculate those numbers here, those header numbers? And it's because we have the information about which is the best performing building that we have in our platform. Okay, so we have a pre-processing algorithm that takes out the outliers, the zeros, the non-coherent numbers, and then we end up with the different patterns. Okay, and inside every single pattern of consumption, then we get the best building, the worst building, and the average building. Okay. So here, once the customer introduces their own information, then we check to which pattern do we have to associate that consumption. And in that case, we have associated that consumption to the pattern that has that shape here. Okay, so it's the pattern that shapes better with the existing with the customer that wants to perform the grader. And then once you have this information, then we normalize and we denormalize for the particular consumer, and we get the differences from here. And that's how we calculate the energy grader from 1 to 100.
There is another question that says where this real-time high-frequency data is coming from. So as Daniel said at the beginning, Dexma has a cloud-based energy management software that it's being used by utilities, energy services companies, and other kind of integrators. So currently our company has projects in 33 countries and with more than 10,000 locations monitored in real time. That means at the end of the day, more or less 32 million registers that we are introducing in these clustering processes.
Per day.
Per day, of course.
Every day our algorithms becomes better and better and gives to the end customer better accuracy in their results. That's right, John.
So we have a question actually related to these ones, because I assume the question says, I assume the peer group for comparison is really large in Western countries. How reliable is data for peer group comparison in countries with few data or less facilities or less Dexma customers, like for example, Africa or Kenya or I don't know.
Exactly. No. So in terms of consumption comparison, so the efficiency grader, you don't have to focus if Dexma has customers in that particular country or not, because as I was explaining to the audience, then we segment by activity, by surface, and by weather conditions as well. So if you have a hospital in Sweden, so their climatology will be so hard, and then they will consume more, but the climatology will be higher, the heating degree days and cooling degree days. But then when we are normalizing that information, we take into account that climatology effect, right? So we are normalizing using that. The other thing, of course, in Kenya, for instance, we don't have any partner, I guess. So we don't have prices from that, but we will find that prices. Okay, so we will go directly to the Kenyan utilities and try to find which is the best prices for that kind of guy. So we'll do that job.
Yeah, of course, as much customers at the end want to use the platform, the better that it's gonna become. So that's it.
And then one last question that is also related. I'm guessing the grading system is limited to existing users from Dexma?
Absolutely not. So that that means that this is an open platform, so you don't have even to register or to create a login, so nothing like that. You can use your own information without being an existing Dexma customer, so you don't have to have an Dextel license, right? It's totally free and totally open. So what we want to share is that knowledge that we have been achieving during the last 7 years of our company, that huge experience working with more than 200 partners, plus than 1,000 real projects developed and implemented, tens of thousands of locations, as John was saying, and compare your building with that huge database that we have in order to help you to understand how much efficient you could be and which are your potential of savings.
Great.
Cool. So I think this is all. We have the next session in less than 20 minutes now. It will be in Spanish, so we need to stop here. But guys, if you need to know anything else about the grader, we know it's a super huge launch and there are many, many questions around, or while you use it, maybe you need to know anything else. So please contact us. We will be super happy of hearing about your experience with grader to make it better and better. And thank you for being there.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you today.
Thanks.
See you next time.
See you next.
Bye.
Bye.